What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm John. This is my channel, Lee Gamers United. I want to say a very surprising response to my Saturn collection video. I really thought the import video would have gotten more views. The domestics blew it away. I mean, not by a lot, but that was a little surprising to me. Anyway, let's get to it. Shout outs, new subscribers, Player 1, Joseph Yamane, Benjamin Phillip, The Gaming Subscription, Callie Ray, Carlos Escriva, Carl Burgess, and Popful Mail. Very clever, I like that. Great game, too. Wish I had it. Alright, so today, here we are. We're talking about Otogi, original Xbox. So, I've realized I do get a little long-winded in some of my reviews, but I enjoy talking about the game. So I'm going to try to really just stay focused. And tell me if, by cutting the length of the video down, if you guys like it, or if you want me to just talk. That's really how I do it. Anyway, the story goes, I'm just going to read off the box because this is a game by FromSoftware, who you know from Kingsfield, Bloodborne, Sekiro, etc., etc. This was really their first major foray into the action semi-RPGs that we know that they give us today with the brutal difficulty. Although this game is far from brutally difficult, it's still a fair challenge, though. I want to say, story, basically, you're immortal, you have the powers of, of the gods or whatnot. You accidentally broke the seal, which released demons into the world, and the seal between life and death is blurred and broken. So yeah, you got to put everything back. I want to start visuals. Okay, this for an original Xbox game. Now, the original Xbox, listen, this was from the era of the exclusives, okay? You could take any game, you could take a random game from the original Xbox, from the GameCube and the PS2, because those were the three big ones. And you could blindly pull a game out from each library, and there was a good chance it was only on that platform. Alright, Microsoft, you guys dominated from the Xbox to the 360 because you had all the exclusives. Come on. Stop this bullshit, alright? Right now, that's why Sony's beating you, because they have lots of exclusives. And I know you guys are turning it around, and acquiring Bethesda was a good start. But anyway, Otogi, visuals. This game is absolutely batshit insane on the eyes. And it's a good-looking game. There's lots of particle effects, lots of magic effects going on, lots of hit effects. The character models are very good. The characters are animated well. There's some good physics in there. Tons of debris when you destroy shit. This game, it overloads your brain at times. You'll just be hacking and slashing wildly because you can't even see what's going on. And you'll know you hit an enemy because you hear the sound effect. But the visuals, I will say, this game was a real good standout title on the original Xbox in the visuals department. All the cinematics are rendered in-engine, in-game. There's great lighting, some really cool type of like when you see these giant crystals and some metallic surfaces, they give like their own type of reflection. I mean, it's a feast on the eyes. Problem at times is there does tend to be a little bit of slowdown. It's not tragic, I assure you. It is far from tragic, and it doesn't ruin the experience. In some instances, it sort of enhances it, makes it feel like slow-mo. Massive bosses, great, the levels, every area has a colored theme to it. Some areas have a giant blue hue and a blue tint to them. Some areas have a green tint, some areas have a yellow and a gold. So there's variety. It's not the same old green hills and gray walls and brown fucking corridors. It's far from that. It's a visual feast. I will say it is a fun game to look at. Only problem I have with the graphics, besides that little bit of slowdown, again, we weren't in the age of a million blades of grass at your character's feet. Some of the textures on the environments can look a little muddy, a little low res, but that's probably the worst extent of it. The character designs are very creative. The Japanese theme, the Japanese mythology that they touch here is pretty good. So they capture it. Even the menu screens look really good, and a real cool water effect when you choose start game or load game or whatever and whatnot. The sound department, okay, you can choose between Japanese or English voices, which is good. English voices ain't too bad. You know, we were still just getting into the age of big top voice acting, like high quality voice acting. So, again, but this is a Japanese developed game. The English voices are usually a second thought. The Japanese voiceovers sound pretty damn good. Some lines from some bosses get repeated a little too often. There's only 1 or 2 areas that I played so far that happened. The music is good. I wouldn't say there's anything particularly standout here. It's not bad soundtrack. There's just nothing that you're gonna like, nothing memorable in a, you know, not in a bad way or a good way, but just nothing you're gonna be humming. You're not like One Winged Angel in Final Fantasy VII. You'll hum that in your head. You'll hear it in your head. Nothing from here. The sound effects, they sound good. I think some of the attacks when you hit the enemies, it doesn't sound very impactful, and it sounds a little muted. But otherwise, the sound design, the music itself is good. It's just not memorable. So I'd say the sound is probably the weakest part of this game. And that's not a bad thing, because this is a pretty good game overall. The controls and the gameplay. Okay. Raiko controls, and the gameplay also. Raiko controls pretty easily. Your R trigger dash is B or Y is weak and heavy slash. A is jump. It is a little floaty with the jumping and the physics, the way it's implemented, but you'll get past that and you'll learn to use it to your advantage. Every area has multiple objectives, with the exception of the main objective, which is usually clear the enemies out, fight the boss, or open the key essence pathways, by destroying shit. Every level has hidden spirits to find, objects to breakable, like they want you to break objects, and by objects they mean everything. Every tree, every fucking torch, every column, every pillar, every gravestone, every wall, destroy it, unless it can't be destroyed. That, and you can go back and replay the levels, which I think that's cool. And you can resume the progress from where you left it, or start the level fresh and see what do it that way. I don't know why. You will spend gold to buy new weapons, new accessories, different magics. You don't level them up. You get to repair them, but I haven't even seen a usage for repairing the vitality of a weapon. I like the fact that the levels, they are replayable. They're structured in a way that it's meant to be replayed a couple times. There's another thing I don't like about the gameplay. The combat, it's good. It's very basic. B, 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 Y. B, 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 Y. Y, Y, Y. X is magic. You can charge up your magic. Or you can just let out a weak magic shot. What's interesting with this game, the way it works with the magic, your magic gauge doesn't get used up that fast by using magic, but it drains over time. When that magic gauge is depleted, unless you kill enemies to replenish it, or get a sphere to replenish it, a key orb, once that's depleted, your life can no longer regenerate. You can't use magic, you can't use the dash, and you're at a big disadvantage, and then death really is sort of around the corner. Your life, you get they're green orb spheres, whatever, that dictate your life. They do regenerate over time. If you're on fire, they'll just keep draining. There's a lot of little things here that I think make it a more well-rounded experience, and when you're playing the game, it all does start to come together. The magic, it was weird at first. I'm like, wait, I'm just standing here, my magic's draining, I'm not using it. But use that to your advantage, because you really have no limit to how many times you can use your spells. Why not? So once the magic's depleted, the gauge, then you're screwed. So most levels you'll probably clear before the magic gauge runs out, because like I said, when that runs out, no more regeneration of health. I do like the different weapons, although you'll find one weapon and stick with it, because you're not going to want to lose. You'll trade off on stats, MP, attack and defense for weapons. Some weapons increase the attack and the defense, but lower the magic, vice versa. I find the greatsword that I'm using gives you the power and doesn't take anything away from your defense, and just you lose a little bit of overall magic ability, which I'm fine with that. I think Otogi is a fun game. It really is. It was a highlight game that it was one of the best games nobody played on the original Xbox, but it sold well enough to get a sequel. in Japan, it was a big hit in Japan for the Xbox, believe it or not. FromSoftware was confident in the American and the Round Eye system, so they put this and a sequel on it. I don't think this game is something like you'll be like, yo, I can't wait to go back and play Otogi again. It is a good game. It is fun. I enjoy the graphics. The sound is okay. The controls you'll get used to, the floatiness, but the particles, the effects, the lighting, the destruction, it's a lot. It's actually a really, really fun game to just destroy shit. Even more than so than just finishing the level. And the sound effects when you destroy shit, they're pretty effective. But the combat sound effects, I think, could have been better. If you have an original Xbox, I don't know if this is backwards compatible to the 360. I don't remember. I don't know the list off the top of my head. I didn't even try putting it in my Series X. I just figured, you know what? I almost remembered this wasn't playable on the 360, so I put it in my OG machine. And I'll tell you what, it's a cheap game. You can probably get it for 10, 12 bucks. And it's worth it. And it's good to see where FromSoftware's ideas for Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro, where it came from. I would say this is the game that really started them on the path to giving us Dark Souls and all the other ones. But this game is nowhere near the brutal difficulty of those games. So it's accessible, it's rated teen. In fact, one last thing I want to say, it feels like a male Japanese version of Bayonetta. Before Bayonetta. Some of the enemies look like the enemies in Bayonetta. So I will draw a comparison there. Otherwise, Microsoft, Sega, can't we go back to releasing, to getting these types of games on your machine exclusive? I could pull 25 games out of my cabinet, random, and most of them will say only on Xbox. So, lesson learned. I'm John, this is my channel, Elite Gamers United. I hope you all enjoyed this review on Otogi, and I'll see you again. The next game is going to be, I call this the Sega Trilogy for the Xbox, the original Xbox. Otogi, Otogi 2, and Gun Valkyrie, because they all feel very similar. That'll be the next game. So I'll see you guys on my Gun Valkyrie review, and everybody, have a good day.